Something that's not Minnesota. I walked to work today in shorts and a T-shirt, no jacket. I don't know where you think you people say this weather comes from, but this is beautiful.
You walked to work via Minneapolis? What?
No, I did not. Because I didn't want to get caught up in the chaos and the craziness there. I have a feeling though that we are going to get a back end winter freeze.
Yeah, it's coming.
Yeah, I was going to say it's definitely coming.
You know, I have just a smidge of a feeling that we're going to get that.
There's a big old mass of Arctic air somewhere up there getting ready to come south.
So, Tim Walz there just gave a speech about everything going on out there, chaos and craziness. Here's something for everybody. 2 things can be true. What? Mm-hmm.
At the same time?
Yeah.
You're crazy, sir.
Yeah. In a situation like this, let me tell you something. Ken and I had a very philosophical conversation on whether or not to A, eat the donut holes, and B, this situation in Minneapolis. But 2 things can be true. A woman could have been in a situation that she shouldn't have been in, not for any other reason that she did something stupid and panicked, didn't listen. And when she went forward, a guy who had already, from what we understand, been hit by somebody before and dragged, an illegal alien, earlier this year, about 100 yards, at that moment in time. And yes, she could have been innocent, but through panic and chaos, did something that made her look like she had done something, like she was there to do it. And at the same time, he did something where everybody on the left is going, this guy's a murderer, but not knowing that story. Guess what? Two things can be true in this world. I think she went down the road. I think she made a poor decision after dropping her kid off, I guess, at school. And she got into a position that she shouldn't have been in. And when there was orders given, somebody approaching her, she panicked and did something absolutely stupid and ridiculous. And let me see, how many people have we talked about through the years that screw up and don't listen to orders and pay the price for it? It happens. And I think she panicked. And in that panic, she was trying to get away. And what happened? He did what he thought he had to do, not also knowing the situation, but knowing what he had gone through. And this is where we are. Yes, Bill.
Hey, if she didn't want to get shot, she shouldn't have been standing in front of the bullet.
Oh, Bill. That's a hot take. Those are on Tuesdays, by the way. So, yes, two things can be true. Do I, the left is going to hold her up as look, she may be, this is one of the things Ken and I were talking about before the show is normally by now, and I think Ken will agree with this, we've known everything about her history in life. Everything. And the people start coming out and goes, well, she was bad or she was this or we don't seem to know anything about her other than she seemed to be a good person and had a kid. And, family, friends, people, neighbors, she wouldn't have been involved in anything like this. Yeah. Again, sometimes things happen. As horrible as it is. And this was a tragedy. And it's being politicized. 100%. Because we're not even at this point anymore. This is how sad it is in our world. We're not even at the point where we used to be a tragedy would have happened, something horrible would happen. We'd come together, we'd pause, we'd take some time, we'd reflect. And then when the politics comes, when it comes, it didn't even, that never even came close to happening. Ever. And that's a shame. It is. So, yeah, 2 things can be true. Absolutely. Do I think this guy, wanted to wake up and go, hey, today I'm going to have a chance to shoot a mom? I don't think so. I don't think so. Do I think she thought for a moment when she dropped her kid off for school that was it for her? No. So there's a lot around this, and everybody's going to make, they're going to take their politics. They're going to scream and yell. The noise is going to get loud. But here's the sad thing. In a couple days, something new will happen. Maybe we'll capture somebody else in Venezuela. Maybe we'll take Greenland. We got to take Greenland with the penguins and all. They're very dangerous. Carnivores, absolutely. Cannibals, probably. Probably from all the snowballs they do. And then this will be forgotten. And then we'll hear about it as a blurb in, 2 or 3 months. That there's not going to be any charges. I know that Minnesota would like to have charges. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't. There will be civil charges, meaning as far as there's going to be lawsuits, and I'm sure a settlement out of this. But I don't think there's going to be any civil charges. And the FBI, who's investigating it, isn't going to bring any charges. So this is what it is. And, so I think two things can be true. It happens. It does. Everybody wants to be on the side of, my side wins. You don't win anything. I don't win anything. Nobody wins anything. Human being lost their life, another person took it, and we're even more divided. Nobody won anything on this one. And the politics is strong. Absolutely. The left gets a chance to talk about how Trump and everybody's a bunch of jackboot thugs, and look how evil he is. And when they break things and do chaotic things, they can go, look, these people are unhinged. It's not a good thing. It isn't. It's not a good place. We're in a place now where it has become, evident more and more on a daily basis that through emotions that are fueled mostly by anger and the algorithms, all we see is, and sent to us, go like a few things and watch what happens. I sent Ken yesterday, and I was telling Bell this. I sent Ken a hilarious Land of the Lost Sleestack thing. For the next 10 minutes, all I got was Land of the Lost stuff.
Where's the problem?
Well, there's no problem. But it shows you how the algorithms just jump on it and use it.
Well, and we've discussed before that I have my my phone is not supposed to be set up to listen to me. And you and I have discussed things on the air before, and then I get home that night and all I see are stuff related to what we were talking about on the air. And my phone's not supposed to be listening?
No, of course it listens. It listens all day. Every day. All day, every day, your phone is listening. That's the scary part of all the new stuff at, all of our new technology. I mean, you can't even get a toy now and think to yourself, is it listening to me? Probably. I mean, we're back to the point. You might as well just play Jacks. That's a game. Jacks, that was a game? Is that the game where you bounce the ball and pick up those little things?
Yeah, the little sharp things you used to step on that were pre-Legos.
Yeah. Oh, those. But they were metal. So, yes. Yeah. Both things could be true. I'm still, and we're going to find out more. We're going to find out more about this. And, I don't believe everything the government tells me right away. It's funny. It depends on who's in, right? Well, if the other side's in, they're liars. If our side's in, they tell the truth. No, I don't believe everything they say. And I don't believe everything that the quote unquote LARPing running around revolutionists say either, because they're full of crap too. Why? Because they're in the same damn echo chamber as everybody else on their side. And nobody's willing to look at all sides and ask what the truth is. And that's mostly because people don't care about what the truth is. They care about how much noise can I make to win the internet today. That's like the thing. And how does this affect you and me? It doesn't. Prices go up. Prices go down. That affects us. In fact, something's happening today, potentially, that may affect us in a major way, to the point where even the Republicans are looking at the likes of Mike Johnson saying, we're not doing this. We got to figure something out.
We expect that vote today, and it is certainly a significant step, but there's still a lot of work to be done. If it passes the House, the bill still needs to then pass the Senate, and it would need 60 votes to do so. it's unlikely that Republican leadership would even put the bill on the floor in its current form. Instead, a bipartisan group of senators has been working on their own version to offer as a compromise. So for anyone out there saddled with these price hikes, they need to keep bracing for those higher costs. There is a chance there will not be any sort of a resolution until after the next election or at all. There's a lot of work to be done.
So the ACA, they're going to vote on it potentially and kick it to the Senate. Now, the Senate doesn't have to do anything, and they probably won't do anything with it. But they're starting to all recognize, here's something that's important. 22 of the 24 million people that get ACA, Obamacare, their prices went up. And if you're like, well, I don't care, I'm not on that. Okay, but guess what happens when a bunch of people drop off of it? The healthy people who are younger, who prop up everybody else. Those same companies that insure you and I also insure a lot of these people. And what happens? Who do you think they pass the price hikes off to? To us.
But I was credibly told that Obamacare fixed this problem.
Obamacare fixed nothing. You do not let the people who are going to benefit the most design the program. And that's what you did. It's like letting kids grade their own paper. I'm going to get an A every time. I mean, come on. But the Republicans recognize we could lose a lot of seats, and we don't want that. We can't have that. You know, Trump came out the other day talking about how he's going to be impeached. I still don't think he's going to be impeached. Even if they lose it. First of all, they know they're not going to win in the Senate unless there's some magic craziness that happens that's just out of control and they get somehow win all these Senate seats, which they're not going to win. They're not going to win. They're not going to get him impeached. It's just not going to happen. It isn't. And making him a martyr isn't going to do anything in their mind, you know, the uppers, anything real. So it's not going to happen. It isn't. So but he would, you know, look, that's Trump. You know Trump. Trump loves the red badge at Curtis. He likes it. Oh, yeah, give it to me again. I'm fine. I'm taking the arrows for you guys. Knowing full well he's not going to be, it would have to be something so horrific. But the investigations, that's the issues. And let me tell you something. Trump and them are worried about some of the investigations into what? Some of the business dealings, some of the things like that. That would be the stuff that he'd be more inclined to worry about. So, yeah, I can see why the Democrats and the Republicans are both trying to figure out how they figure this, because I'm still waiting for the Republicans to roll out the health care plan that I was promised the day after Obamacare came out. I have yet to see that. So we'll see. A lot of stuff to get to. We'll talk a little bit more about Minneapolis. Got some economy stuff, which is always interesting. We got this lady who is giving us the rules to date her that I find fascinating because I saw her and I thought, this is interesting. And guess what? Her and about 1,000 other young women all have something very similar rules-wise. And if I'm a guy, I'm saving all my money to go to a CES next year.
If I'm hearing that from a woman, to me, the first rule should be don't date her.
Yeah. Let me tell you my rules. Okay, bye. Those are my rules. Have a wonderful day. It's the best thing you can do. These things are insane. We'll talk about that. Also, what's going on at CES. The robots are strong. They debuted a lot more of them yesterday, including the Realbots. Realbotics debuted some of their stuff.
Sex dolls?
Companion dolls, but yes. And they're dishwashable safe, so that's weird.
Can you imagine stuffing a human-sized robot in your dishwasher?
Well, where else is she going to do the dishes? If you missed any of the show, grab the podcast. Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 99.7. Okay, let me tell you about Relief Factor and why it is amazing. It's got amazing ingredients, natural, right, that are formulated in a way that helps you with not only your aches and pains in your joints, but your muscles. So many people out there struggle. This young woman, Kim, who is, she's got kids, she's got a life. She's going to work every day. And what happens? She comes home and she's exhausted and her body aches. She's sitting and she's up and down stairs. And it's just like, as you get older, you feel it. It's got omega-3 fatty acids, resveratrol. These things focus on inflammation, which is a big deal, especially with all the food and stuff we eat. Guess what? She started taking this within a couple weeks. Her pain subsided. She feels a gazillion times better. And more importantly, as she says, when she goes home at night, you know what doesn't happen? She doesn't plop down on the couch and go, I can't do anything, and spend time with her family. Why don't you be the next one to have an amazing success story with Relief Factor? Call 1-800-4RELIEF today. And for just $19.95, get a 3-week quick start. You can take it every single day. This stuff works. I swear by it. My wife swears by it. You will as well. That's 1-800-4RELIEF-FACTOR. Go over to relieffactor.com, relieffactor.com.
Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem says the agent involved in the deadly ICE-involved shooting in Minneapolis used his training. Governor Tim Walz says Minnesota must be involved in the investigation, but they don't have to be. I'll explain coming up at 12:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
All right, you guys want a house where you don't have to do anything because Rosie's there?
This is LG's Cloyd robot assistant. It's getting a lot of hype right now. We just saw a demo in which Cloyd interacted with a host to open up a refrigerator, get a drink, all different implications for what LG is calling a zero-labor home.
Welcome to Science Fiction Future begins today. We are showing our Cloyd robot here, which actually is thinking for itself. I'm kind of forgetful sometimes, and at night it's very important that, the windows are locked up and that my temperature is set properly and my doors are locked, and Cloyd would take care of that for me automatically. So we have our AI, which we call affectionate intelligence. So all of our appliances will be talking to Cloyd, and with Think Q on, it's going to be talking to third-party sensors, so we have that whole home protection, as you were talking about, the whole home scanning.
So this robot is, and I'm learning more and more, way too much about these, and I'll tell, your sex bots, by the way, are usually the F series bots, your companion bots, right? So this one is
F series?
An F.
F.
Which eventually probably is something that might happen. But this one here is connected. You've got to have a full AI computer home. because then it Wi-Fi's itself in, and they all chat with each other, which is also scary. Because at any given time, you think it could turn on you.
Look, he's in the shower. Turn off the cold water.
Yes, exactly. Oh yeah. He's allergic to shellfish. As I make dinner.
Yeah.
Puts that on the list to for the grocery app.
That's the scary thing. One of the other cool things I saw. So they've got this new. These droids are a little bit more expensive. They've got this new. And it is one of the coolest things I've seen. And I've flown drones for a while. I like drones. They're fun. And this one is not heavy enough, because when you get to a certain weight and stuff and they go to a certain area, you have to get licensed. You don't have to with this, but you get VR goggles with them. And it's a one-hand control. But you can also use your head to control it once it stays in focus all the time. It is incredible. And that one's only $1,800. So some of the stuff they have, the coolest, they've got a car that is going to be ready next year or later this year. It is a computer. That's all it is. It's a full computer. And yes, you can have a steering wheel, but otherwise it's tucked underneath. But it has a drone on it as well. So if you're in traffic, the drone will come out and will go down and see what's going on and then come back.
Interesting.
How cool is that? I like that. Wouldn't that be neat, though, to fly? When I was playing golf, we played in that tournament earlier, Jack, last summer. The guy we were with, we couldn't tell because it was uphill in the hole, and we couldn't tell if there was anybody up there. And so the guy got his drone out, and he flew out to take a peek and to see where everything was.
Now, if these traffic drones go ahead and they see like there's just a bad driver up front who's causing a big backup, you're allowed to equip these things with Hellfires, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, good.
That's exactly it. You're allowed
at the
to
very
do
least a bird poop.
Oh, that would be.
Yeah, at the least.
Well, they are. Remember, because birds aren't real. So as
they
we
are
know,
drones.
They're all drones. Now this is the confession that they have now. Look, they're all drones. It's all drones, guys. None of it's real. So I'm pumped about now I want to get a drone and fly around the traffic and see what's going on.
With Hellfire missiles.
Right? You know what, Ken, they're going to tell everybody now our traffic people are going to have to go out, right, and drive around and then fly that around and then broadcast from their car. I'm stuck on the
It'll be the 70s again.
It will be.
Yeah, will be, right? You don't need to. It is. Some of the stuff they have is incredible. We're going to talk about some of Bell's bots later. That's what I call them, Bell bots.
Sex dolls.
Sex dolls. Yeah. Here's the weird thing about that, right? Because you're going to build a rapport with it because the whole thing is of the AI to have these relationships with real bots is what they're called, or real botics, is to build a relationship so they understand human emotion somewhat so they can see your face. What happens when you think, I want to upgrade her, and you're going to have to take her in like a used car?
What kind of steps do they take to prevent you from being able to tell the robot to kill somebody?
That's a good question.
I didn't do it. The robot did.
Yeah. There was that movie last year that came out called Companion, where she
That's right.
It's like a horror movie, and the guy he feels bad about his bot being the perfect wife, so he tells her, and then she overrides her system and then goes on a killing spree.
But even going all the way back to iRobot with Slapboy, the robot killed the professor that created it because the professor told it to.
That's right.
He basically committed suicide by robot.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's, I mean, if these things are going to learn and grow and follow your direction, how do you prevent that from being an acceptable part of its program?
You would have to build in something somewhere that says, I can do no harm to humans. But here's the problem. Humans will figure out a way to override that, just like people have done with the AI to get it to jump out of its lane. So you can't. Bell, what we're saying is they're going to kill us all. Okay?
Exactly.
At some point.
At some point, they're going to kill us all. So be prepared for that. All right, coming up, we got a briefing going on at the White House about yesterday's shooting. Talk a little bit about that. A bunch of other good stuff on the way. Chad Benson, Super Talk 99.7.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem says the agent involved in the deadly ICE-involved shooting in Minneapolis used his training.
I'm not going to get specific to this officer, but he's an experienced officer that has served a number of years, and we recognize that he acted according to his training.
Well, Governor Tim Walz this morning.
Yesterday, the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension, the BCA, spent the day yesterday attempting to get that accountability. We have learned that the Trump administration has now denied the state that ability to participate in the investigation. And I just want to make this as clear as possible to everyone. Minnesota must be part of this investigation.
But federal law says they don't have to be. And lawmakers are moving to curb President Trump's military authority in Venezuela. The Senate narrowly approved a war powers resolution 52-47, requiring congressional approval for future hostilities. This vote follows Trump's announcement that U.S. troops captured Nicolas Maduro and his wife on narco-terrorism charges. The bill is unlikely to survive a presidential veto, much less the House. Meanwhile, Trump is lashing out at the 5 Republican senators who voted with Democrats. He posted to Truth Social that Susan Collins, Lisa Murkowski, Rand Paul, Josh Hawley, and Todd Young should never be elected to office again. And a key vote in the U.S. House today could keep health insurance affordable for millions. Lawmakers poised to approve a 3-year extension of Obamacare tax credits that expired last month. Without the extension, families could see their monthly costs double. The measure still faces strong resistance in the Senate over how long to extend the tax credits. That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Busy bee. All right, Middle Tennessee, you guys know what's going on. Winter is maybe coming. I have a feeling we're going to get it in the back end bad, especially latter part of this month and into next month. So you know what? Busy bee's got you covered. So are you ready for this? Let's keep you worried free. HVAC, 0% financing, 18 months, complimentary UV light with any new install, free 5-year labor warranty, $750 value. Tell me more, Chad. I'm going to. Plumbing, same, 0% financing, a free 50-gallon water heater with select repipes or $600 off if not applicable, and save $600 on a Halo filtration and softener combo. Indoor quality, 15% off UV lights when you book a premium duct cleaning. And are you ready for the service specials? $49. That's it. For a multi-point furnace inspection, a $250 off a Smart Auto whole home water shutoff, especially during the cold times. That peace of mind, you know what I'm talking about? And another great thing, you buy one Beehive membership, you get another one free for a friend. So call Busy Bee today, 615-775-7833, or visit busybeehvac.com. Busy Bee, your comfort, our mission. All right. Speaking of the winter, as it gets closer, you know what's going to happen. Pipes are going to start freezing. You're going to have some issues, especially as the rains start to come over the weekend. That's why you needed United Structural Systems. Have them come out and give you a free inspection. All right. It's not going to cost you anything. They're not going to sell you anything you don't need. They're awesome. And they've got 30 plus years in business and thousands upon thousands of happy customers and 5-star reviews. And the reason is because they know what they're doing. They're in it for the right reason. So whether you've got issues in your basement, crawl space, right, you have some foundation issues, they can help you with all of those things to make sure it doesn't go from bad to worse. And when you got water that's sticking around somewhere and you don't see it, next thing you know, you get a little bit of mold, then some wood rot, then it becomes a nightmare. Don't let that happen to you. Have USS come out today. Call 615-488-7855, 615-488-7855, or check them out online at USSTN.com. Our vice president, why is he briefing people?
So he actually has something to do.
I mean, I'm curious. There's no reason for him. I mean, this is not a. This is something that, yeah, Kristi Noem should have been in part, but this shows you the politics of it all, right? This shows you the politics of it and how important the politics is. It's selling the narrative because you're vying for those people. You want those people to buy everything. I still don't know. You know, I've had several of you say, I don't know why they shot her. And then some would say, well, she was definitely an agitator. There's people out there saying that. Well, who are the people? I don't know. Again, we don't know any of the stuff. We know very little about anything. It's been 24 hours. There's a reason you guys do. A lot of people, I hope you realize CSI and all that stuff, they don't get that done in a day. Do you guys realize they solve crimes in an hour? No, it takes a while. It does. But I'm curious as to why the VP is out there. You would think he's got other things going on. You would think that. Apparently not. All right, Belle, I'm going to give you a chance. This lady's got a whole bunch of reasons why you have to be prepared to date her. Now, I will tell you guys this, and I talk about this as a situation for many of you guys who've got young sons at home, right? Maybe even some of you were single. Like, the rules have changed from when we were younger. The rules have changed. And first of all, there's all kinds of rules now, which I was unaware of. But even my son talks about some of the girls are just like, I'm like, when you see some of these people that are a hot mess, they're not worth the effort, no matter how hot they are. Because we've all had one, guys. We've all had that woman, that chick you chased around. You gave her way too much grace. All right, so here's rule number 1.
If he does these things, he's cut. 2026 edition. This is my list. Okay. Number 1, has a Snapchat. You're cut. I don't care.
Okay. Has a Snapchat. None of us have a Snapchat. Did you ever have a Snapchat?
No, I've never. I mean, I've had Facebook. I've got Twitter. I've got Instagram, but
I never had a Snapchat.
I'm just not going down that rabbit hole that far.
No, I don't.
And Snapchat never.
I don't even
me.
want all the stuff I have now, to be honest with you.
Number 2, if you have your Instagram handle in your dating profile, you're cut. You just want followers.
Okay. All right. So you got that? No Instagram, no Snapchat. For most of our listeners, we don't have to worry about any of that. Number 3.
Number 3, if you follow a bunch of girls on Instagram, you're cut. I don't care.
Now, that's not fair.
That's a red flag right there, meaning that she has serious jealousy issues.
Yeah, because I don't know you, right? We're not dating. We're not. So why should I not be able to follow people? Continue.
Number 4.
4.
If you ask me on a date and you don't follow through, you're cut.
Okay, that's fair. What does follow through mean, though?
Set it up, execute it, pay for it.
Okay, yeah, okay. I don't think she has a lot of forgiveness.
Number 5, if you ask or expect me to drive to you, especially if you live in another city, you're cut.
Okay, cut. So you're cut. So she's not driving to you, and if you say you're going to do something, you're cut. There's no going back, right? Somebody said, is she good looking? Okay. Yes. Somebody who's 290 pounds and 4'3" and looks like Frodo doesn't get it. Doesn't
has no
get
list.
this. There's no list, right? This one has a list for a reason.
Number 6, if I catch you lying one time, you're cut.
What if I tell you that I'm 6'3" and I'm 6'2"? Is that a lie?
Yes.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Number 6, if you play video games, you're cut. I don't care. Get a real man hobby.
Now that right there's crap. And because Belle, you play video games.
Yep.
What's the difference of playing video games compared to going online and watching, social media all day?
Or sitting down and watching football.
Yeah. Oh, so if I'm at home and I want to play video games, or I want to play, what if I want to play, what if I'm addicted to Yahtzee? So I'm cut? So it's okay if I go out with my friends golfing for 7 hours on a Sunday, but if I play video games for a couple hours, I'm cut. Okay, continue.
Number 8, if you have kids and you don't see them on a regularly scheduled basis, you're cut.
Oh, look at that. Now, what if it's the woman that won't allow you to see your kids?
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking.
Right? What if they've taken your kids and they won't allow you to see them and they're playing that game? Is that your fault?
Number 9, if you don't have a job or a vehicle, you're cut.
That should be number 1. Ladies, unless you live the job thing should always be there. Because I'm always surprised how many of my friends' kids that the person that they're, seeing kind of doesn't have a job. Even my little sisters, some of their boyfriends were such losers. I was always surprised. I'm like, God, it's not hard to get a gig. And the same thing, too, with the car. But I can guarantee you she's tried to fix a lot of guys. I feel like that, too.
If you watch corn, you're cut. I don't care. I don't care.
That's the adult stuff, not actual corn. What if I'm a corn farmer?
That's the way you get around it on social media.
Yeah. It's like on social media, if you ever watch anything and they said, They went pew, pew, and they unalived him. It's because the AIs and the algorithms, when they hear certain things, they make it so that thing doesn't go viral.
Number 11, if you drink every day, even if it's just one drink, you're cut. You're an alcoholic.
The good news is Ken's given this up because Ken is doing, what was it? No drink in November? January?
Dry January.
Dry January.
I'm going to lose 10 pounds.
Baby, I'm losing the tenner.
Number 12, if you don't care about your health and fitness, you're cut. I don't care. This is my list. I don't care. And I'm not saying you need to be in the gym every day, slamming protein drinks, but you got to care about what you're putting in your body, and you got to exercise semi-regularly.
Here's my thing on this one. When she said that, if you're not 6'2" with a 6-pack on top of a 6-pack, she's not giving you the time of day. There's a lot here. Finally.
I get that times are tough, but so is this list. Okay, next. Number 13, if it's clear to me that you're just trying to smash, you're cut. Okay, thanks.
Just trying to smash.
Well,
yeah. Let me tell you why guys date. Because they're trying to smash.
But at the same,
what if they're trying to smash?
But at the same time, I don't expect. I mean, women are not wired to just give it up.
Yeah, we got to work.
Yeah, and why would she want to go out with somebody that's just trying to get in her pants and then next? That makes total sense to me that she wouldn't want that. So if you have to put that on a list, then there's a problem.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. I mean, and by the way, if you have ladies, I'm going to break something to you. When we meet you and we fall in love immediately, we're trying to smash. We're already thinking, how hot is this?
That's what I told my daughter.
That's that. And you know what? It's just the way we're wired. That's it.
Yep.
It's the way we're wired. That's life. We're a visual creature. We're, a Jaws, in the movie Jaws, they said it best. It eats, it swims, it makes little babies. That's about what we are.
I told my daughter, I said, I don't care how much they tell you they like what you like. They don't.
Yeah. No, they don't.
We know within 10 seconds of whether or not we want to get with.
Yeah. 100%. But just like women know what they say, it takes 7 seconds for people when they first meet decide if they even want to have anything to do with one another. You could tell if you want to date somebody within minutes. Like, okay, I know I want any part of this. Especially as you get older, right? And you just put it all out there. Because when you're younger, you're trying to look cool. When you're older, you're just like, here's all my crap. Here's all my crap. Somebody asked me, because I was talking about JD, do I like JD Vance? He's okay. Do I think, I don't, he's all right. He's the vice president. I like Marco better than JD. If you had to ask me who I'd like to see if this was my choices, but I like Marco better. But it doesn't matter. I just ask, why is the vice president out there talking about this? Because I just think this is something, got to be honest, kind of beneath the vice president at this point in time. And there's other things that the vice president could be doing. Or whatever because one thing, because Pence was, the only time anybody ever mentioned Pence was on January 6th. Outside of that, you never heard from him again. He got him over the hump with the Christian evangelicals in places like Indiana and other parts. And then we'll call you when we need you. Where JD's taking a much more, front and center approach. And because of that, I just think that this is something that it's because it's political that he's out there. But I think, you're not, this isn't a national tragedy. It's become a national story, and it's good for the White House, and it's good for the leftists, and it's bad for the people that were involved. Bell K, man, a lot of people are about you. Where's the man list? Here's the man list. It's a simple list. Don't be a bitch.
And admittedly, that's a large umbrella, but still.
You know what I mean? Come on. That's it. How hard is it?
It's real hard for some.
It is. It's very hard for some. So, but if you can do that thing, you're pretty much on the way. So, but yes, the whole if you're just trying to smash. Have you met men? We're talking about the robots earlier. Nerds built technology. The minute the nerds figured out how to build an something using electricity and wires and stuff, it could have been 100 years ago. They turned to each other and go, we're going to build a sex doll one day. That was it. Keeps bad. Somebody said, I can see Bell. My buddy Jim said, I bet you Bell's going to be one of those people that they're going to find his companion choking him out. Bell's going to have a smile on his face.
I hadn't thought of that.
Oh.
That's what I love about working on this show is getting ideas.
So, it's just honestly. Yeah, JD is always campaigning for 28.
Well, Trump definitely uses him as a pit bull. When he wants to get his message out and it not come from his mouth, he's like, JD, go out there and tell him this.
Yeah, of course. And they love this. I'll say this right out to you guys. You know what they would love? Some rioting in downtown tonight. Some breaking windows, some fires, some unrest. Because then they can go, see what's going on? See what's going on? Absolutely. It's what's going on.
They'd have it if it was summer. Yeah,
if it was summer. The cold does a lot, man. At night, you're like, I don't think so. I'm going in. Plus, the other thing, in summer, what do you have? You have a lot of kids out of school.
Yep.
Because a lot of people who go out and do these things, they don't care about the issue. No. They just think it's an opportunity to go break a bunch of crap.
Right.
And they're all in school now. And it's cold.
They just want to be there for the vibe.
They want to be there for the vibe. I'm like, hey, what are you doing? I'm vibing out, man. Vibing out, baby. All right, coming up, Mickey Rourke speaks out. Mickey had some issues. Talk a little bit about that, among other things. Straight ahead, Chad Benson, Super Talk 997.
Weekdays 3 to 7. And streaming on the Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Prize Picks is amazing. America's #1 fantasy sports app, and it is easy to use. You download the app today. Use my code Chad. You get $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. That's $50 in lineups. Now, what is a lineups? Two or more. Two or more players, picking more or less based on their projected stats. It is easy to do. So you may go, okay, Chad, tell me what you're doing. Well, I like old soccer. Pass attempts today. Gravenberg. Yeah, I went with the over on that one. That's Liverpool. But then you pick another over-under on any sport, soccer, hockey, football. It's that simple. And the great thing is you get paid out fast, almost instantaneously. They got early payouts. They got injury reboots. So if somebody gets injured, you get allowed to reboot it. And on top of that, this is what I love. You can now start stacking. So you can get up to 2,000 times your money. So download the Prize Picks app today. It's America's #1 fantasy sports app. Use my code Chad to get $50 instantly in free picks straight into your account when you use that code Chad. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Must be 21 in Tennessee. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-889-9789.
Iran has gone dark. I'll tell you about it here at 1 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Uh-oh. They went dark.
Ain't nothing coming in, ain't nothing coming out. But everything's okay.
Yeah, he's in a lot of trouble. He is in a lot of trouble. And he's not well either. That's the other thing. He's an old dude. He's not well. People understand there's almost 100 million people there.
There's a lot of folks there in a little space.
Yeah, this is not one of these tiny countries that has like 3 million people. There's almost 100 million people. And Tehran is that's a big city, kids. That's about 9 million people. That's about New Yorkish size. And it's very modern. And they are pissed because they want it to all be modern. So this will be very interesting to see what takes place there. And people ask me, oh, Chad, you're not saying nice things about JD. We had 4 years of Kamala. Kamala was an idiot. I didn't give JD much thought up until he was potentially going to be one of the vice president, candidates. Because I didn't live in Ohio. I knew about his upbringing. That was it. But if you had to ask me who would I rather have as president running, I'd totally rather have Marco. Little Marco. But I don't think we're going to get either of those guys. I think Don Jr. They're going to do Don Jr. What about that? What do you guys think of those apples? And then it's going to be Ivanka. And then it'll be Barron. Actually, I think if any of the Trumps have a chance in the future, I think it would be Barron. Although I don't know. How tall will he be by then?
Easily over 7 feet.
What is he, 11'9" now, whatever he So I think Ivanka would have made a good president. I think she could have handled the job somewhat.
I don't think she likes politics.
I don't think she likes politics either. I don't think I don't think Jared could. I don't think any of them did. They don't like the spotlight. He doesn't mind.
I don't think Jared likes the spotlight, but I think he loves politics.
He loves what comes with the politics.
They got little kids.
Yes, that's the other side of it, man. I think the kids, that's a tough thing, especially if they're little, at the White House.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy. I couldn't even imagine kids going through all that stuff. All right, coming up, hour number 2, we'll have some what J.D. Vance is saying. Talk a bit about that. More on Bell's robots, BellBots. Got some of those coming through. We're going to find out what the price point is for Bell and his BellBots. Maybe you can just rent one. We don't know. Would you be a robot pimp? Pimpbot.
No, there's you're using the wrong word.
Depends if I could wear a clock around my neck.
Oh, yeah, you got to do that for sure. Big clock, too. One of those old school ones that goes,
yeah, boy.
Yeah, boy. Hour number 2, straight ahead. Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 99.7.
It is 1 o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. Right now in Iran's capital, people shouting from their homes, rallying in the street after a call by the country's exiled crown prince for a mass demonstration. A new escalation now in the protests that have spread nationwide across the Islamic Republic. Now, internet access and telephone lines in Iran have been cut out immediately after these protests started. Here in this country, the big issue with the deadly ICE-involved shooting in Minneapolis is whether state authorities be allowed to join the investigation by the FBI. Here's Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem.
They have not been cut out. They don't have any jurisdiction in this investigation.
Now, Governor Tim Walz has publicly stated Minnesota must be included in the investigation, but this request does not override federal jurisdiction. The U.S. Senate voted today to advance a resolution restricting President Trump's power to take military action in Venezuela. It might not have a chance in the House, but in the Senate, 5 Republicans voted with Democrats: Susan Collins, Lisa Murkowski, Rand Paul, Josh Hawley, Todd Young. President Trump then posted to Truth Social, these Republicans should never be elected to office again. And the U.S. House is expected to pass a bill that extends Obamacare tax credits for 3 years. The Senate will have the final say. A compromise may be needed because they want less than 3 years. Grok, Elon Musk's AI tool attached to his X social media platform, coming under fire in multiple countries for generating fake, explicit photographs of people. Women have come forward to say that explicit images of themselves without their knowledge have been showing up online. We get more from ABC's Mike Dubusky.
If there is a sort of global takedown of Grok, that would be a really big effort, right? That would require the coordination of governments around the world. At the same time, this is a pretty easy issue to agree on, right? Like, child sexual abuse material is criminalized around the world. It's one of the few sort of unifying themes of like the global law order. So that is a potential, avenue that they could go down.
Yeah, the British government, one of several countries moving forward with legal action. Well, if your promise to eat healthy and lose weight has survived the first week of the new year, congratulations. ABC's Jim Ryan says dietitians have some advice.
The choices are endless. The cert food diet, the mind diet, the carnivore diet.
Fad diets, they often sound really appealing because they promise quick results.
Registered dietitian Kristen Smith has written extensively about the fad diet phenomenon.
The truth is they're usually not sustainable for the long haul.
What's more, diets that demand extreme amounts of any one type of food can be harmful. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
That is the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Breaking news. Marco Rubio has announced he will not be a candidate for the Miami Dolphins head coaching job. He's got to focus on other things, and he has enough jobs.
I was going to say, what's one more job?
This one you got to pay a lot of attention to because the Dolphins are, well, I mean, look what they did to Hootie.
What'd they do to Hootie?
They always broke his heart.
Oh.
I only want to be with you. I'm such a baby, even the dolphins make me cry.
I wish I could have a dolphin. I like dolphins.
Would you guys chill? We got to get the capybara and the porcupine first.
Yeah, can't wait.
Yeah, especially a capybara.
Oh, yeah, capybara. Capybara, 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 capybara.
I follow this lady on Instagram. She's got a group of capybaras that come into her back door every day.
I see that lady is hilarious. And she's always got to tell them, stop eating the couch. Stop eating the couch.
Oh, one of them immediately goes to her couch to find her favorite place on it.
Yep. And they are...
And her dogs don't mind them.
No, they don't. They just think they're just giant. All they are is giant guinea pigs. That's it. They're just, hey, you have a guinea pig? Yeah. Well, would you like a 150-pound guinea pig? Here's one. In Japan, they have a capybara cafe. There's supposed to be, I think there's one in Florida, too. We should go, man. Oh, we should go. How fun would that be? He's talking about all this hell going on here.
They may be the chillest animal out there.
Yeah,
man.
they're the animal. Have you ever seen them too when they'll get on top of a crocodile and they'll just float across the thing?
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for the ride.
Just hitching a ride. Thanks, man.
Appreciate that. And he's like, I was going to eat you, but you know what? You're all right.
You're all right.
You're okay. We could do this again sometime. You're okay. Oh man. You know what I'm happy about tonight, Ken? There is football on tonight.
Football. Oh yeah, we got a college football.
Ole Miss.
Ole Miss carrying the banner for the SEC.
Taking on Miami.
Whew, Miami's got a violent defense. Violent defense.
That is a violent. I love what Deion Sanders said when they were asking him how he recruits. He goes, on the lines, I recruit, the offensive side, especially, he goes, I recruit really, really smart guys.
Yep.
Good guys who are good, guys who are doing their homework. They're showing up. They love God. He goes, on the defense, I recruit people who want to build a house for mama. And I'm like, I get that. Somebody who's pissed and angry, and he's doing this because mom needs a house because dad skipped out.
Violence.
Violence.
He wants a violent defensive line.
There's a capybara place in Helena, Georgia.
Oh, wow.
Well, how about apples that are those apples? Capybaras are the best. Capybara. J.D. Vance said the ICE agent has protected by absolute immunity. So, I think you go through. Look, I said yesterday, this guy could have dragged her out of the car and shot her right there. And they're probably going to say the same thing at this point because this has become politics, unfortunately, of what it is. We have wrapped ourselves in emotion and echo chambers and put ourselves in positions where we are so divided, it is ridiculous. It is. And, you got to see the text messages that we get. It's like, she deserved this, she did that, justice was done, and I'm thinking to myself, two things can be right in this situation. You had a woman who panicked. She's an agitator. Well, why did she try to tell them to pass her then? Did you guys see that? When she's waving, go by, you guys can go by. You hear one guy that's getting out of the car, one of the police going, hey, move along. And then you hear the other guy get out, don't move, hands up. And you're like, oh. So get out of the blanket car. So, but this was always going to end this way. I said it yesterday. Before there was anything known, they had come out and said she was a domestic terrorist. How do you know she's a domestic? Did you guys, have we confirmed that, Ken? Anybody that she's a domestic terrorist?
We don't need to confirm it. It was on the internet.
She in a group? She in the Antifa?
Mom Tifa.
Mom Tifa. Do you get jumped into that group like you do with gangs?
I don't know. Probably.
Or do you just have to show up at a coffee shop that serves wheat juice? Hey, Ken, I was telling you were talking about wearing your big clock around your neck, like Flava Flav.
Flava Flav.
I said, I was telling Belle, I hit Flava Flav with my car in Phoenix.
Lucky he didn't shoot you.
Yeah, if he was DHS, I was done. It was during Super Bowl week. You know what I was surprised? So we were doing all this. We were on the floor during Super Bowl week at the media thing, and I was coming out of the garage, and he came out of nowhere, and just like kind of that cop yesterday, I was going forward and looking one way, and out of nowhere, as I come out of this garage, I kind of like hit him in the hip, and he jumps back and he's like, "Wow," and he starts laughing. I'm like, "Sorry, man." I'm all, "Sorry, Flav." He's like, "That's all right." He kept going. You know what was weird, though? The whole time we saw him down there, I expected him to be always with an entourage. He was always by himself.
Interesting.
I found that to be very interesting. He's just a little guy. It's not actually a big clock. It's just a wristwatch. He's just very tiny.
He's just a little fella.
Just a little fella.
He's been through a bankruptcy, so he'll probably learn the hard way that paying all those hangers on wasn't worth it.
Yeah, well, there was that. Thank goodness, though, he didn't shoot me. I'm sorry, Flav. I'm always amazed when you go to those places who people get excited to see. More people were excited to see Flav than I think Trevor Lawrence was there, and this was like his rookie year or whatever. More people were excited to see Flavor and a bunch of these other NFL stars. And the two biggest booths that were there were Pat McAfee, and we were behind TikTok. The TikTok booth was the packed booth, and I would, because we had our young interns. I'm like, "Who's that person?" And they're like, "Oh, that's Jimmy the Juggler." What's he do? He juggles slime, and that's it. He's got 48 million followers. And the people, you get all these other stars to come over and take pictures with these kids. It was a trip. Minneapolis, it feels like it's a little bit on edge. So I don't know. Again, do I think this was a bad situation yesterday? Yes. Do I think it was a tragic situation? 100%. Do I think it became political and everybody online wanted to win points and prove to the tribe how awesome they were before anything came out? You didn't need to know. You didn't. You didn't need to know anything other than a woman was shot by DHS in a car. And that's all you know. The left was always going to say was murder. And the right, it was justified. Absolutely had to be done. 100%. Justification. And that's it. Nothing else was going to change. And if you believe it was justified, nothing's going to change your mind for most people. And if you believe that, that it was murder, and you found out that she had a bomb on her and a gun, and they did what they were supposed to do at the right time, then guess what? You're still not going to change your mind because the echo chambers are too loud. And then we start living in a world of identity. I love this. This right here, I don't know if you guys are familiar with this guy. This George Carlin fellow. He seemed to be kind of a seasayer of the future in his comedy.
When your identity is your ideology, congratulations, you've officially screwed yourself, because now it's not just an idea, now it's you. And when the idea gets challenged, you don't hear disagreement, you hear an attack. So what do? You build a bubble. A nice, soft, padded little bubble where everyone agrees with you, uses the same words, hates the same people, and claps at the exact right moments. And you will defend that bubble at all costs, even if it makes you sound incredibly stupid. Facts don't matter anymore. Logic's gone. Humor? Dead. Because admitting you're wrong would mean admitting you are wrong, and that's unacceptable. So you double down, louder, angrier, dumber. And that's how you end up defending nonsense like it's sacred scripture, not because it's true, but because without it, you'd have to actually develop a personality.
That's pretty smart fellow.
It's pretty heavy for that long ago.
Yeah. And there's lots of those things out there from people when you think about it. The fact that we don't critically think anymore, the fact that we want to jump to conclusions. And a lot of you get mad at me, pissed off. Oh, you're a leftist? No. Oh, somebody called me a racist earlier. I'm like, what are we even talking about? Because you have in your mind, this is what it is. It is true, and this is as far as I want to go in knowing what went on. If we're going to dive deep into it, I want to know everything. I want to know exactly everything. I want the body cameras. There was that guy that was shot, or was it a gal? It was a gal that was shot, several times in Chicago. Remember DHS and the ICE and everybody? Oh, she had a gun. She had all these things. And it was, oh, yeah, they charged her with all that stuff. Then they dropped charges because the body camera footage showed she had no gun. She had none of the things that they said they did. That's why, But if you went online, the same people that are saying all these things are saying, look at this, oh, my God. People, we got to critically think more. If we were a species, critical thinkers, we would be endangered. We would be. And that's why I tell everybody all the time, go challenge your belief systems. It's like the best thing to do, right? It's iron sharpens iron. Because the more that you challenge, the more that you think, okay, maybe I just want to see all angles of this. Then the more that you start to realize, oh, maybe I'm not 100% right. I mean, I said yesterday I didn't know anything about what happened. We really don't know much more than what we've seen. And like Bell said, too, where's the footage from all the houses on that side? Because there's a bunch of Ring doorbells out there because they only cost like 50 cents to get. So we're going to get some other footage we haven't seen, and we're going to get footage from the officers, and they'll find out more about her. I'm surprised we don't know more about this lady. By now, you would have figured that she, everything in her life would have been exposed. But to this point, no, I mean, not, I've seen some stuff, but you could tell that it's not real. It's meant, it's meant to stir anger more than it is to actually have a conversation or say, oh, I didn't know that. I didn't. Just like the guy that shot. He was dragged, 100 yards by somebody in a car several months ago. So he understands. So there's a lot more to it, but we shouldn't be celebrating a human being dying because you want to win the internet. I've never understood that. I have yet to win the internet. Do you get it for a day? How does that work? Do you take it home with you? I feel like it's going to cost a lot of money to keep. That's what I think. All right, coming up. A lot more interesting things to get to. Right, we can't just talk about this all day. Want to hear more about Iran? Whew. Nothing's coming in. Nothing's coming out. They've shut the whole thing down. They've closed it up. They're ready to file for bankruptcy. Chapter 11. They got all that oil. They got tons of oil in there, but they've got tons of young people who don't want to live under insane moral laws by old people. And that's about to change, I think, sooner rather than later. Plus, they're thirsty because they don't have any water. That's also an issue as well. Talk about that, among other things, straight ahead. Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 99.7. AI. Are we in a tech bubble? Are we in an AI bubble? Could there be some issues when it comes to AI in the future? I think we've got a lot of companies that are way overvalued, and we're going to see what happens with those, and that could pop. That's why you need to talk to my friends over at Bulwark Capital Management. They're going to give you a free Know Your Risk portfolio review. All right, Zach Abraham, this guy's amazing, right? He leads the team over there at Bulwark, and they're going to show you what they're all about. Risk management, grounded in value investing, and their goal, number one, lower the risk, lower the cost, but maximize the upside potential through value investing fundamentals, right, when it comes to your retirement and your investments. So this is what I want you to do. Sign up for it today. It's not going to cost you anything at all. You go to knowyourriskpodcast.com, knowyourriskpodcast.com, and when you go there, you not only can sign up for that, you can get all of his stuff. He does daily insights about what's going on in the market, not just here, but globally as well. So sign up for your free Know Your Risk review from my friends at Bulwark Capital by going to knowyourriskpodcast.com today. Investment advisors served off the Trek Financial LLC and SEC registered investment advisor. Investment involved risk, not a guarantee. Past performance, not guarantee future results. Trek 26351.
Well, Vice President J.D. Vance is weighing in on the deadly ICE-involved shooting in Minneapolis, and he also announced a new federal multi-state fraud task force. These stories and more coming up at 1:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
You let me know when there's a frog task force and we're on it.
Especially if we can fry their legs.
I saw somebody frying a frog that I thought, that's got to be AI. It was a giant bullfrog, like an African bullfrog. It was like 40 pounds. It's massive.
That's a lot of meat.
I don't eat frog. I don't know if you guys are aware of this. Yesterday we fixed we turned the whole thing upside down. The frown. No. The pyramid of food. And guess what? I don't eat much of what's on there. No matter which way you put it, I don't eat a lot of it.
I eat all of it.
I mean, it's been almost like 30 years, though, since they said that the food pyramid was wrong, and they finally got around to changing it.
Well, it's government right there.
Yeah.
Government they knew it was, it's like the same thing with marijuana. They've known for years it doesn't do anything. It's not deadly, right? None of that. They've known that forever and a day, but they didn't change it. They just let it be. I mean, and had there not been for a lot of his, some of the stuff that he thinks, he's got some wacky ideas because of the worm in his head and the bear thing. And the fact that he apparently.
Well, the worm caused the bear, so I don't know if you can.
And apparently, if you're a good looking reporter, you go to do an interview with him, there's a chance you may fall in love. That was a crazy story. Chad. A lot of you guys like that George Carlin stuff. And it's funny. Remember he used to talk about not voting? He said, I don't vote. First of all, I don't go outside that day and I don't vote. And everybody's like, oh, he goes, because I don't want to be blamed for it. And I'm like, yeah, I get it. He goes, it's not worth it. America's been bought and paid for a gazillion times. And I'm like, yeah. I mean, there's something to that. And he goes, and when somebody votes for something you don't like, what do they always say? Well, you should have went out and voted. You can't complain. No, you voted for something and it didn't go well, so I am going to complain because this is your fault. Obviously, it was a joke.
This is what you voted for.
This is it. We got several of those yesterday and today. Yeah, about the Minnesota things. This is what I voted for. Like, really? You voted to have somebody gunned down? No, I don't think so. I would hope not, but I'm sure maybe some of you, yeah, this is it. But at the end of the day, this has very little effect on any of us. What's the employment situation like? What's the economy getting ready to do? We're going to start getting I don't even know what kind of numbers. Can we even trust any of these numbers that are coming out? Yeah, well, and I hear, and again, and it's funny because the difference in if you're in your 60s and 70s and drawing on your retirement and you've got a home you've owned for 10 years outright, the economy's great for you. If you're 30 and you got a wife, but you guys can't have kids and you live with your mom, it's not great for you. And that's the future. And, we have this weird, bizarre world where it's that K. They always talk about that K-shaped. And the way that we spend money. They did a big study that came out about how so they put side by side American products and Amazon, Chinese-made products. They put them side by side inside of the Amazon store and everything. You'll never guess what happened. We as Americans, no matter how cheap it was, as long as it was cheaper than the other thing, we didn't spend more for the American-made or the more expensive. We picked by price. If price isn't an object, you're not shopping there, right? If price is an object, you're going to, if you are and many of you guys out there probably do, if you're somebody who has to go give a bid, do you want to be the first one in or the last one in? Probably want to be the last one in. Well, why? So you can compete with the price, undercut if you have to. And yeah, there are some things in life. Everybody's got that one or two things that they have that I'm not going to skimp on this. But for most things, especially day-to-day goods, we're always going to go with a cheaper price. Those things affect us. Mortgage rates, the cost of cars. I can't even right now. There was another study out. It's going to be over $800 this year on average. It was $750 last year. That's for a car. That's just for the payment for the car. That is not for insurance, and the maintenance and the upkeep. That right there is, and some of these people, I'm amazed that they buy these trucks. You know, you ever see, there's that financial guy, was it Caleb Hammer? Have you seen him? He looks a lot like Mason, and he brings people on looks about Mason's age too, and he talks about finances and the amount of people who have cars who have payments that are like $1,500, $1,300. I mean, that is crazy. I got a car payment. I hate it.
Me too.
You have a car payment?
Got one car payment.
Mine's gone in 7 months.
You count it down.
Yes, sir.
How long is your car payment?
We've got, I think, 2 more years.
Man, it's I hate my wife because I'll tell you guys this. I was driving around in my Saturn. It was a stick. It was a SUV. We called her Black Betty because she looked like she had bangs like Betty Page. Oh, I love that thing. I did. And my wife's like, you got to have something better, and you don't want to be stuck in traffic all the time. And I'm like, but I love not having a payment.
Yeah, it's great.
It's freeing. It's like, oh.
I remember when we were paying for 3 cars at one time. Oh, I loved it. I wish I could go back.
No.
It's terrible. Terrible, I tell you.
That's, you know what? That makes me feel bad.
Yeah, it was awful.
So, all right, coming up, now that he's upset us, talk a little bit about Venezuela. I don't know what we're doing there. Apparently, we're going to be there for a long time, and I'm going to tell you about a text message I got from Bell last night. It's going to make you laugh. This is the Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 997.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. Vice President J.D. Vance stepping in today's White House press conference to say the media is misrepresenting the ICE agent and the woman who was killed in the deadly shooting in the Minneapolis yesterday.
Because this was an attack on federal law enforcement. This was an attack on law and order. This was an attack on the American people. The way that the media, by and large, has reported this story has been an absolute disgrace, and it puts our law enforcement officers at risk every single day.
Meanwhile, the FBI is not sharing information from the shooting with Minnesota investigators, and they're not required to by law. Vice President Vance announced a new federal multi-state fraud task force after what they say they uncovered in Minnesota's child care system.
We are creating a new assistant attorney general position who will have nationwide jurisdiction over the issue of fraud. Now, of course, that person's efforts will start and focus primarily in Minnesota, but it is going to be a nationwide effort because, unfortunately, the American people have been defrauded in a very nationwide way.
Other states in the crosshairs, California and New York. The Senate has voted 52-47 to move forward on a resolution to prevent the further use of U.S. military action in Venezuela. ABC News national correspondent Stephen Portnoy.
The measure advanced in the Senate with the support of 5 Republicans: Susan Collins of Maine, Josh Hawley of Missouri, Lisa Murkowski of Alaska, Rand Paul of Kentucky, and Todd Young of Indiana. They each joined Democrats in support of a resolution crafted under the War Powers Act that would prevent the president from using the military in Venezuela going forward without congressional authorization. The White House says if the measure were to wind up on his desk, President Trump would veto it. It would then take a 2/3 vote of both houses to enact it into law.
And the U.S. House set to approve a 3-year extension of Obamacare premium tax credits. That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
60s tomorrow. Risk of some strong thunderstorms and heavy rainfall across the mid-state. We start off with some isolated storms in the morning. Have a pretty good dry afternoon with temperatures near 70. Late in the evening through the overnight and even into early on Saturday. Widespread scattered showers and thunderstorms could cause some minor flooding and even some wind.
All right, guys, I want you to talk to my friends over at Beacon Capital Management. You know, taxes. I've already seen people talk about, okay, what's going on with the taxes? How's this work? Beacon can help you with that. Yeah, they're full service financial, but they can help you with taxes. They're in the one big beautiful bill. They've got very big, by the way, $10,000 in car loan interest, right? But you're like, oh, that sounds great, but there is some things that you got to make sure that you have when it comes to the car loan, how it's assembled, where it's assembled, things of that nature. They've got charitable donations. Right? So this is above the line charitable donations that they can show you about. And how about this? If you're 65 or older, you're eligible for additional senior deduction up to $6,000. They can also help you with estate planning. They can help you with long-term care insurance, health insurance across the board. You name it, they can help you with it. So this is what I want you to do. Call them today. Sit down and talk with them. Get a free personalized financial consultation with our friends over at Beacon. Call 615-488-9303, 615-488-9303. Or check them out online at beaconcm.com. For Beacon Capital Management, this is the paid placement. Da-na-na. I got called a hippie, so I just want to let you guys know that.
Your hair's too short.
I thought you did have to have long hair. And
you have to stink.
Yeah, I don't do patchouli either. I don't. No, you can't. I can't. You got to stink. You're right.
Yeah, true hippies. They didn't believe in hygiene.
No, because they were always outside, and they also wore those cutoff shirts, right? So their arms could be free, and they had the bag that would go over them, no matter who it is. And you know what else I don't do? I don't play hacky sack. Right? I don't play hacky sack. No hacky sack. So we're going to be in Venezuela forever. So there's that. Bell sends me something yesterday. It says $1.7 trillion. Doesn't this idiot know we're in debt?
No, it's...
That's a lot, man. That's way too much money.
You're talking about the Trump's new desire to increase the budget for the Defense Department.
For the Defense Department.
To $1.7 trillion.
No.
Which is almost doubling it.
Yeah. We already spend the most. And here's the thing.
We spend more than the next 10 countries combined.
combined. And just to give you guys an idea, I just want you guys to understand. Here's a little something. Many of you remember the 12-day war against Iran? You know how long it was supposed to last? 35 days. You know who cut it short? We did. Why? Because we were running out of stuff. We're down to our last 25% of the THAAD missiles. We were running out of stuff. The plans were for 35 days, but we had gotten to the point because of all the stuff we've been doing, we've depleted everything. And do we need to bring it back? Yes. Do we need to? But we also have to spend smarter. You want to talk about
that's the problem with the Pentagon is they've never been underfunded ever.
Yeah.
They just want all of the toys and they want all of them now.
And Lindsey Graham's going to be out there just going, "Oh my heavens," because that's how I figure he does. Do you know what Lindsey Graham he reminds me of somebody that gets the vapors.
Remember the first time I ever heard that was on Little House on the Prairie.
He's got the vapors. I feel like, yeah, he's like an old Southern lawyer wearing the blue suit with the hat. Well, I declare super. But as we talk about this, the amount of money we could sit there and we're now going to have a special attorney general to look into fraud. Okay, good. Let's do that. Let's also start at the Pentagon. When's the last time that they had an audit, let alone passed one?
It's been, at this point, well, I want to say 20 years.
Yeah. Think about that for a second. Unlimited budget. Some of them just say stuff with $50 billion. Like DARPA. I'm good with that because DARPA's like, they're 4 or 5 generations ahead. But when it comes to the other stuff, the amount of money wasted in our government is tremendous. It is. Yeah, what happened with the the Somali daycare and all this crap, which, by the way, they've been investigating before even Trump got in there, and people were already prosecuted. That was under Merrick Garland it started. But what happened there is bad. Go look everywhere else. The amount of money that is wasted is tremendous. Government is a giant piggy bank for these people.
And it's your money in the bank.
Yeah. Except you don't get to access it. Who was the guy in Alaska that tried to build that giant bridge to nowhere, right? Like, remember that?
No, I remember the kids in South Park trying to build the ladder to heaven.
Oh, that was a great episode. It was a great episode. But the amount of ridiculous, there are so many giant, huge waste of money because we signed these we signed these contracts with these companies, especially these weapons companies or whatever, and they produce something. That stuff then becomes obsolete. But you know what? We got a contract. And it was a no-bid contract, too. Those are great. We talk about cost.
We love the word competition.
Yeah.
Until it's time to give out contracts.
Yeah, we love that. The seersucker suit. Thank you very much for that. Yes, Lindsey Graham. Thank you, Ronald. Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. He feels like somebody that's dead, definitely. But the cost, we were just talking about how Americans will choose the cheaper item over the American-made item that's more expensive, regardless if it's $1 or $5 or $10, because it's not us. We'll give you a no-bid. I want a no-bid contract. How would that be? What do you guys know what that is? Just give me your price. It's fine. There you go. I'm cool with that. Just give me your price. And we're talking about buying. There's the other thing, too. We're going to buy Greenland. That's like, okay, well, how do you factor in what I asked ChatGPT, I asked Claude, Gemini, what it would cost to buy Greenland. So they estimate that it's about $1 trillion to $2 trillion just for the stuff underneath the ground, the rare earth minerals, the potential for the oils offshore that's untapped, and the fresh water. That's something that isn't mentioned. The massive freshwater ice reserve that's there. That doesn't even include everything else. So they're looking at probably $4 trillion. Where are we getting this? How do you cut taxes and raise spending? We all want lower taxes, but not to the detriment of the future of America. But they spend all of this money. There are warehouses full of obsolete equipment, but they got to roll them off because there's a contract. Here's another one. Here's another one. It's insane. My buddy, they are trying to win a contract right now with the Defense Department. It has nothing to do with actual defense. It has to do with the like all those big, the Humvees and all those things. They sit out. All of these things sit out forever. And they get ruined because they're not being used. And they buy more and more of them because they have to. And so these transportation things. And so they have to go and fix them when they're going to use some of them because sometimes they'll sit out there for years. And what happens? Well, the sun warp stuff, this, that, and the other. So they have this new thing that fixes it, and it costs virtually nothing to fix all the glass and do all this kind of stuff for it. The problem is the other company has a contract. They charge $600,000 to fix the thing. It's like $1 million to build a new one. And theirs is like $2,500. It's who you know. I mean, you want to talk about insane. And now we're talking about being in Venezuela for eternity. Because what don't we do? We don't stick the landing. We may fall down and live there, but we don't stick that landing.
Well, I give him credit in this attempt. We're not even trying to stick the landing.
Yeah, no, we weren't. So, yeah, that's right. Senator Ted Stevens, look that up, Bill. Ted Stevens, senator from Alaska. He got so much money to build a bridge to like nobody lives out there. We're going to just build this bridge, and it's going to go in an area that you don't even need anything because it's not connected to anything.
So was that an earmark he had shoved into the bill?
Yes. I mean, it's insane. And he was one of those super powerful guys that was out there. You just type in Ted Stevens, up pops Bridge to Nowhere, the Gravian Island Bridge. Talk about pork. It's a bridge to nowhere. $398 million. Why? There's 50 residents that may use it. But it's money, bringing it back to the home state. We're doing this. It's insane.
Look what I got for you. You need to vote for me again. I'll go get some more.
Yeah. But who do you bet? And this is how it works, guys. And this is why politics is so greasy and grimy. Well, who do you think probably is on some of the boards of some of these companies that are going to be awarded stuff? Maybe his brother-in-law, right, who happens to be a construction guy. Maybe his sister-in-law. Maybe and next thing you know, it's just all insane. They're just, that's what's frustrating. So yeah, let's do it. Let's get an actual fraud department and not just go after the blue states. Let's go after waste across the board. And let's start in the Pentagon.
Well, that's the problem, though, is one person's waste is another person's appropriations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, Canyon County, says Vicky, has a bridge to nowhere. There you go. You know what? Mario said, why not get an economic deal done with Denmark and Greenland? That's a possibility, some sort of, but we're going to be paying them. So at some point for something. And we already have I think we have an Air Force base out there. Because everybody's all, well, what about China? China's not going there.
I read a statistic, I think it was 2 days ago, that there was 193 what are considered sovereign nations on the planet, and we give money to 177 of them.
Yes. Here's something for you guys. Want to talk about Somalia? Here's something you guys probably don't know. Guess who's bombed Somalia more than anybody else? Donald Trump. He broke his record. And we give them money for other things. That's who we are. We will simultaneously blow up a building and then hand them money to rebuild, and then we'll bring in Halliburton to do it. The three companies that are already starting to bid and do stuff in Venezuela, trying to get stuff out there, who do you think it is? It's the people you think it is. It is. I'm telling you guys, we're putting together a nonprofit. We're going to do it after work today. We'll ask Ken. Ken, what kind of nonprofit do you want? Do you want to do... We got to do something government. Should we run a preschool?
One that slides me money under the table and I never get caught.
Okay, well, that's fine. Do you want to do a preschool?
The Leering Center.
The Leering Center? The Rock Center. Rock and roll. What do you teach the kids? Rock and roll. We'll talk about lawsuits coming up because it's funny, the lawsuit. I read the lawsuit about the McRib. You guys will enjoy this. We'll do that, among other things, straight ahead. Chad Benson, Super Talk 99.7. Okay, guys. Our good friends over at Prize Pick are going to give you $50 in free picks straight into your account when you download the app and use my code Chad. You play fantasy sports, you probably know the players pretty well. Now's your chance to make some money off it. Prize Picks will help you with that. So how do you do it? It's simple and easy. Let's just say there's some football games going on this weekend, and you're saying to yourself, okay, well, what are you talking about? You're picking more or less based on projected stats of players. Caleb Williams, you guys heard of him? Over under half a touchdown. So if he throws one touchdown, you win. Oh, I could do that. Matthew Stafford, over under 265 and a half yards passing. There you go. More or less. That's all you're picking right there. It's that simple. And then you win. You win 2,000 times your money. And when you play your first $5, that's all you need to do. $5. You play that first $5, you're going to get $50 in picks, lineups right into your account. Win or lose, guaranteed, after you play that first $5 lineup. So what do you do? Download the Prize Picks app today. Use my code Chad, and then start your winning. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Must be 21 in Tennessee. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-889-9789.
Left and right politicians continue to argue over yesterday's deadly ICE-involved shooting. The vice president has announced a new fraud task force, and the U.S. Senate has advanced a war powers resolution that would limit President Trump's ability on Venezuela. These stories and more at 2 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Time to talk lawsuits. First, McRib.
The season of tangy barbecue sauce.
Some people wait all year for this, the return of the McRib at McDonald's. But some customers say this sandwich is a lie, not containing actual pork rib meat, according to a class action lawsuit filed in federal court in Illinois. According to McDonald's website, the McRib, quote, starts with seasoned boneless pork dipped in a tangy barbecue sauce. While its website doesn't specifically mention pork rib meat, the plaintiffs allege the name and marketing of the product misled them to believe they were getting premium cuts of pork, citing rib prices being higher than other cuts.
You're an idiot if you think that. Let's just be honest. Their mascot is a clown that scares Pennywise. And right? They've got a purple thing that's a taste bud. They got a Hamburglar. And you think that you were going to get a prime choice cut of rib?
Doesn't matter, Chad. Their coffee needs to be cooler, and I need a prime rib.
Here's the coffee thing. There's a perfect example. Do you know why they got sued? Everybody said that lady was an idiot. That thing was like 300 degrees. It had been the 5th time they'd been warned. It wasn't the first time they had burned somebody or it had burned through things. But we just thought, oh, they spilled, somebody spilled something on themselves. No, it burned through the cup. It could have just been the coffee, too, because coffee's not good for you. Unlike me, who drinks nothing but Red Bull. Tastes nice. I don't drink that much Red Bull. But I probably still drink too much of it. But the McRib, come on, guys. Stop that. Stop that. The other lawsuit that's interesting. Now, we said today our show is going to be very sexy, okay, because we're a very sexy group. As you guys see Ken's picture, he's sexy. Take our word for it. Belle, so sexy. Eludes sexy. Just, Beltanica.
The definition of sexy.
Of sexy, all right? If you were to take, little bit of Mutt Lang with some Fonzie, right? Throw in some Lemmy. Cousin It. You got him. That's him right there. Okay.
Definitely Lemmy. Matt
Khalil is a football player. I don't know if you guys have heard this, but his wife was on a podcast, his ex-wife. And she was talking about what a wonderful human being is, how great he is, how much she loved him, but there was issues in the marriage. The issue in the marriage that he's suing her for now is what she said, which was the reason they divorced was the sex. Because, as she put it, he's about 3 Coke cans. And it wasn't fun, and she didn't want him to touch him anymore. And since then, he likes to lay low, wants nothing to do with anything, just going to be one of those guys like a hermit. He's been bombarded nonstop. And he says it's embarrassing, and people are coming out of the woodwork, and so he's suing her.
Why would she do that?
Because that's what people do nowadays. You got to go on to podcasts, and you have to air your dirty laundry and talk about everything.
Yeah.
And you did it to somebody that you supposedly care about.
Yeah.
And, and she's like apologized, but now they're going back and forth at each other. And it's still, like you said, I just wanted to be left alone. Well, too late now, because now it's out there. And once it's on the internet, kids, it never goes away. You know that. All right, coming up, hour number 3 of the program. A lot of stuff to still get to. We didn't even talk about, the robots for Bell, his Bell bots. It's going to be cool. We're going to give a little Bell bot. Hello there, Bell. My name is Linda, and I love you. You got to give him a cool name, too. So we'll talk a little bit about that. We'll probably talk a little bit more about what J.D. Vance said of the shooting in Minneapolis and the fraud. We're going after fraud, boys. That's hour number 3. Chad Benson, Super Talk 99.7.
2 o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. Vice President J.D. Vance joining today's White House press briefing. Weighed in on the deadly ICE-involved shooting in Minneapolis yesterday.
What you see is what you get in this case. You have a woman who was trying to obstruct a legitimate law enforcement operation. Nobody debates that. You have a woman who aimed her car at a law enforcement officer and pressed on the accelerator. Nobody debates that. I can believe that her death is a tragedy while also recognizing that it's a tragedy of her own making.
Governor Tim Walz.
Minnesotans will tell her life story. Minnesotans will be there to defend her honor and see this as a human being, not a moment in time or the callous casualness that I've watched some people on TV gloss over what they saw.
Meanwhile, the FBI not sharing information with Minnesota investigators, and they are not required to by law. In response to the viral Minnesota child care scandal, Vice President Vance unveiled a multi-state federal fraud task force by creating a new Assistant Attorney General position aimed at rooting out abuses in Minnesota and beyond.
It will be run out of the White House under the supervision of me and the President of the United States. And number two, it's actually constitutionally legitimate. As you guys may know, the special counsel statute has some major constitutional questions. When we get the bad guys, we want to make sure we get them permanently and they don't have some legal technicality they can get out of, which is why we set it up as an Associate Attorney General.
Vance warned no state will be off limits. U.S. Senate advancing a war powers resolution aimed at limiting President Trump's ability to use military force in Venezuela without congressional approval. 5 Republicans joined Democrats to pass it. President Trump then posted to Truth Social that these senators, Susan Collins, Lisa Murkowski, Rand Paul, Josh Lawley, Todd Young, should never be elected to office again. And the U.S. House moving forward on a plan to extend Obamacare tax credits for 3 more years. The bill now heads to the Senate, where negotiations are expected to be tougher. And in Tennessee, a loophole in state law under fire for allowing vehicle registration without a valid license or insurance, including illegal immigrants. Critics say it's a safety risk, pointed to deadly crashes involving unlicensed drivers whose cars were legally registered. Migrants argue they need transportation to work and support their families. Lawmakers say they'll file a bill to close that loophole. They head back into session next week. And new research in the British Medical Journal shows that stopping weight loss drugs like Wegovy can lead to faster weight gain than people on traditional diets.
Doctors say there's evidence even short-term weight loss can have health benefits and lower your risk for cardiovascular disease. But a new study shows those who can't tolerate GLP-1s, either because of the cost or the side effects, are more susceptible to gaining the weight back than those on traditional weight management programs. Part of it could be those on the drugs never learned the coping skills to deal with food cravings when they return. Doctors are hoping a lower maintenance dose, even if it has to be taken for life, can keep the weight off. Sherry Preston, ABC News.
That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
What is going on, everybody? Hope you guys are doing well. Tell you what, they've made this a national story, and it's because it's good for, let's be honest, for viewing. They got 24 hours, 7 days a week to try to put something on television. It's good for viewing, so let's put it up there. But it is a national story. It's become a national story. What about the young kid that got shot in L.A. yesterday? Nah, nobody cares. Why? Because there was no politics involved. What about the shootings in Salt Lake City?
Outside of church.
Outside of church. A couple dead, several injured? Nah, Salt Lake is a story. But there's no politics involved in that. And this is politics. So it's a horrible situation what took place. And I said it at the beginning of the show, I'll say it again. Two things can be right. Number one, he did the thing that he thought was right, especially now knowing that he apparently was hit by another person who was here illegally and dragged some 100 yards. And he felt he did what was right. Absolutely. You know what? If that's what you really feel like that was right, based on your experience, based on you're making a snap, everybody's like, she was turning the wheel, she was doing it. Yes, totally. All of those things. But he's living it in the moment. That's the Monday morning quarterback side of stuff. That is. And she could have been wrong place, panicked, a lot of things going on, screaming and yelling. Somebody approaches the car. One person you can hear yell, move along. And then another person's telling her to F and stay and get out of the car. Grabs into it. She panics and then paid the ultimate price. Now it's the politics of it all. That's it. It's the politics of it all. And it's sad that we're in this situation, that we're having to talk about a woman whose kid's going to grow up without a mom now. And where everybody's arguing over, this side, what about that side? Well, what about the human side? Because I doubt the guy's, I think everybody thinks, this guy was doing his job and he's probably celebrating this like he's big. No, I think you'd be surprised. He's probably not feeling great today. It's probably weighing heavy on him. Because if it's not weighing heavy on you and you're not thinking about it, that's when you know it's time to maybe do something else. So it's horrible. Yeah, but two things can be right. But they've made it a national story when, we should be talking about the economy. We should be talking about the ACA and whether or not they're going to extend the Obamacare cuts. Call them whatever the Obamacare premiums, call them whatever you want. But it's still about the economy, stupid. We're in an election year, and the Republicans better figure something out. If they don't want to lose the House, I don't think they're going to lose the Senate. I think it would be really hard for them. Not saying it's not impossible, but I think things would have to go wrong. You'd have to be at that point, if you're losing the Senate because things have gone sideways, especially in the economy, then what happens? Well, then they're in a lot of trouble. And we're all in trouble. We're not talking about this stuff. We're talking about why is this, inflation. Oh, inflation's not cooling the way that people think. Remember that last inflation report that everybody was celebrating? One of the key factors, one of the key indicators in there, they wrote 0 on. Because they didn't have the data, and they just released it. No, that's not how you do things. And when you go and look at the unemployment numbers, go look at the unemployment when it comes to the youths of America, the recent college graduates, how high their unemployment is. And if you don't think that matters, Ken, how's Iran?
Cut off.
Cut off. Why is that? Because the youth of Iran are sick and tired of all the stuff.
Yeah, no internet and no telephone service.
That's insane. I bet it's getting so crazy over there right now. It's wild.
I bet you people are getting killed.
I would assume so as well. When you're doing stuff like that, cash handouts, killings, all kinds of stuff. The change is coming there. Why? Because you have a bunch of young people that are sick and tired of living in the situation they're in, and they're frustrated. We're not going to see that here, but, let me tell you what comes with the young being discontent and frustrated and angry. Donald Trump was a person that was able to benefit on the young being pissed, frustrated, and angry because of the Democrats. Mondani was a person that was able to benefit from people being frustrated, pissed, and angry. And who were those people? Young people. Young people. Because they look around and they're like, nothing's going good for us. We got nothing going on. So this is a year where Venezuela. We're talking about we're in Venezuela, kind of, sort of, but not really. We're taking their oil, but what are we really doing? We're going to be there indefinitely. We got rid of the bad guy, but kept the bad girl. I wonder if she likes being called the bad girl. You think she likes that? You like that? You like that? Delcy, huh? Bad girl. You're a bad girl. We kept her. But what happens in a few months, if weeks, if they don't start to see anything change? This is a nation that's already on the brink, it seems to be, for the last several years of something. Are we going to start sending soldiers in there? What's that costing us? I have no idea. But, they're already starting to ask questions. Well, wait a minute. You got rid of this, but you left this person. This person is as bad as that person. And the difference between her and Maduro is she's competent comparatively to Maduro. So I don't want to be there indefinitely. So there's all kinds of stuff that are more important because those are dollars that it's called. That stuff's not free. Our military's not volunteering that stuff. Because we got the fact that we're in such debt, it is so massive, and it grows every single day. And we're talking about growing, another 1.7 million here and another trillion here. We're talking about doing this and let's create. We need to focus on. We need to start, austerity. Austerity measures. And the whole thing about we got the biggest tax cut in history. The rich got the biggest tax cut. Everybody else got a little bit, just a smidge. And yours goes away. The wealthy, they get to keep theirs. They do. They get to keep theirs. But what point do we break it and say, all right, we're going to have to do some serious cuts? Is it Social Security? Are you just hoping that by the time it breaks that a vast majority of the old people will have died? Is that it? Is that the go for that one? Well, at least if they're all gone. I mean, are we going to have to raise the age? I have a feeling that's what they're going to do. They're going to raise the age of Social Security to 70. I wouldn't be surprised. And then you've got, the cost of health care. There's no fix. The Democrats broke it so bad. That thing is just, it's. But the fix that was supposed to be isn't there. They can't even figure out what to do. And every time there's something, oh, well, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to give you this, we're going to give you that. There's still nothing. And everybody's like, well, Obamacare, the stuff needed to go away. Yeah, I get it. But the problem is you and I didn't create the mess. Government did. So government is got to figure out a way to unwind it. And what does government never do? Never gets out of anything government gets into. Ever. And we could fix so many of these problems. I love the fact that we're going to go start auditing stuff and go looking for fraud. But what kind of fraud are we really looking for? We're probably only going to go into blue states and blue cities, and we're going to audit the nonprofits, and we're going to look and see what was going on, and we're going to come after them because it's politically advantageous. Yet, as we were talking about earlier, the Pentagon is full of God knows what. Empty rooms, trillions of dollars, no audit forever and a day, and they haven't passed anything forever and a day when it comes to there. The money is, we can't even fathom how much it is that's wasted every year. I used to be amazed when I'd read stories about Pablo Escobar and the wealth that he had with the cash, that he would spend, several $1,000s a month just on rubber bands to wrap the cash in. You know how much rubber bands cost back in the 90s? Probably $1,000 for a nickel. So think about that. And they would say he would lose at times $1 million a week or a month because rats would eat it or it would just, start to decay in the forest. Now take that and multiply that by trillions. And that's what we have. And we need to fix. And I don't think this Republican Congress, they can't even get anything done with Trump as president. And Trump recognizes they get nothing done before next year, that chances are all the stuff that he's done with the swipe of a pen is going to be undone in 28 if the Republicans don't win. So it is frustrating, but those things matter. And robots matter because that's coming soon. The cost of these robots, I think within 2 years, you'll see them in some homes. And I think by the end of the decade, you'll see them in a lot of homes. So people will have some form of robot inside their house. And no, not just those robots for Bell. He's very excited about those robots. This one company, Bell, you'll be happy to know, you could build your own, and all the parts are washable. Now get ready for this. You can also choose several heads to put on top of it.
I don't want to build my own. That's what I'm paying them for.
Well, but no, you're designing it. So like if you were able, like you want to design your bunker where you get to hide from everybody. You don't want somebody to surprise you.
Underground bunker. Please get it right.
Okay. Yeah. But you're able to pick, like if you want her to be a brunette, if you want her to be whatever it is, you're able to pick that and you're picking everything. That's pretty cool.
I want her to be green like Captain Kirk Squeeze.
Oh, yeah. She was nice. She was green, but it's okay. With envy. Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy.
I wonder if you can pay to have them make a head that looks like some celebrity's face.
I'm sure that's going to happen. God, how weird would that be? Because, they already do that in the adult world, right? With some of their potty parts. But at what point does somebody license, if you want to date Lucy Liu kind of thing? I don't know why I went to Lucy Liu. But you know what I mean? It's a possibility. You don't know. All right, coming up, we'll talk a little bit more about robots. We've got a bunch of other good stuff on the way as well. Probably a little bit more about Minnesota, maybe. I don't know. To me, that story it's a story that is meant to inflame and enrage. It's more than to figure something out. And by the time anybody figures out the truth, we'll have all have moved on by then. Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 99.7. Bulwark Capital wants to show you what they're all about, which is not just protecting your money, because risk management is the number one thing. It's also about growing it, whether it's your investments, your retirements, whatever it is. And they do it better than anybody I know. They're up about 40% last year, and they're up to, we were talking the other day. I'm talking to them a little bit later today. You watch, the way that they do things, because they're active money managers, they are always looking for the opportunity, fundamental investing, and that value. Where are they going to find that value? and it is incredible what they do. So they're doing something amazing. They're giving you a free Know Your Risk review. This is where they go through your portfolio, show you what, talk to you like, hey, what are you looking for? When are you going to retire? How much money do you think you're going to need? And then show you, are you losing some money here? Let us show you what we're about. It's simple. It's a Know Your Risk portfolio review, absolutely free. Nothing wrong with getting a second set of eyes on what's going on. So this is what I want you to do. Sign up for it today. Go to knowyourriskpodcast.com. That's KNOW, yourriskpodcast.com for the Know Your Risk portfolio review. For my friends over there at Bulwark Capital Management, investment advisors, service officer, Trek Financial LLC, and SEC registered investment advisor. Investment involved risk not a guarantee. Past performance not guaranteed. Future results. Trek 26351.
Vice President J.D. Vance joined today's White House press briefing, asked about the deadly ICE-involved shooting in Minneapolis. We'll let you hear a back and forth between him and a reporter. U.S. Senate today approved a war powers resolution, and it drew the ire of President Trump, especially against the 5 Republicans who joined Democrats. That story and more coming up at 2:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Good. You're not a king. There's got to be some accountability. You can't just go, well, it's just a maneuver. Because, the Ukraine war, Russia war, that's not a war. That's police action. No. Especially if you're going to keep us there for a long time. What did he say? What was that word? Indefinitely. That's what I heard. For the foreseeable indefinitely is how long I think he's going to be there. Marco, man, how many jobs that guy have?
Governor of Greenland.
That's right. Oh, is that what? Oh, that might be it. He's the viceroy of Venezuela, and he is the governor. I like the governor of Greenland. Do you think he'll get a uniform?
I don't know, but I hope that poor bastard's getting those extra salaries.
Yeah, no. Well, there's a. Speaking of, this is good. There's a report out about ghost growing. You know what that is? That's the new thing. So remember quiet quitting? Right? Yeah, the quiet quitting and all that. Ghost growing is where you work for a company, and many of you guys, maybe you guys can let me know, where they give you a title and they make you feel like something, but you get no more responsibility, you get no more pay. It's kind of like, here, you're now this. You're a ghost grower. You're a grower, not a shower.
Does it come with a hat and whistle? Yeah, sure. We'll get it to you next week.
Oh, man. Yeah. Viceroy of Sealand. We already have that guy. He's married to Zsa Zsa. Yeah, the whistle. You got to have the whistle. And there's got to be a uniform. But it's what they're doing, what the companies are doing is they're not going to pay you any more money.
It's going to give you more responsibility.
They're going to give you a little bit more responsibility, but it's responsibility that's not real responsibility. It's one of those things where it's like, remember when you used to file A to F? Now you got to go all the way to M.
So basically, it should be called the Dwight Schrute law.
Yes, exactly. Your stapler. Looking for the stapler.
Yeah, Dwight Schrute. He was the assistant to the. What was his? He was the assistant to the assistant regional manager.
Yes, exactly. It's like a promise ring. I promise that one day I'll buy you another ring.
Right.
White House has announced that over 1 million new jobs were created in December, but they were all filled by Marco Rubio. I love that somebody sent it to. Who was that? 8207 sent me that. Was awesome. Yeah, the ghost growing, and 7 out of 10 Americans are just completely unhappy with their job. And they're frustrated to the point where they would love to have a new job, but there's no jobs right now. There isn't. Not a ton of jobs. In fact, we're at the lowest job opening point we've been in for several years. And so you might have to just be stuck with your assistant to the assistant manager job. Does it come with a new business card? You know what, Sandra? That's funny because in the report I was reading, a lot of that. You get a new business card. You get a new signature, at the bottom of your emails.
Yeah.
But you don't get, and it's not even real responsibility. Like, you can show us how it's done. No, it's none of those things.
You could put it on your resume.
You could put it on your resume. Put it on, but I was reading your resume, and I'm very impressed with it. Your resume. Have you ever gone into a job interview and you think, who are you to interview me? Oh, Lord. That is so funny. Oh, somebody loves their job. Good. I love my job, too. 3778. We call them corporals in the Army. All the responsibility with none of the pay.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's kind of like middle management.
Yes. It's middle management. But the other thing is, part of the whole ghost growing thing is people are starting to realize I'm not going to ever be upper management. I'm not getting to the C-suite. And they're just going to give me, at some point in time, you're going to retire as the vice president of the vice president of filing.
Ghost growing leads to quiet quitting.
It leads to quiet quitting, which leads to sadness. Sadness, I say, sadness. Coming up, I think Matt's here today, right? Or do we have Cameron?
Brother Matt should be here today.
All right, coming up. We got a lot of fun stuff still to talk about. I'm sure I'm starting to get a bunch of texts about the ghost growing and people laughing about loving their jobs because it is crazy out there, the job market. And you've got to learn how to navigate nowadays through AI in the resume phase because AI is crushing so many people.
Well, yeah, it's like if you don't hit an algorithm,
yep,
you're just out.
Yep. If there's like one thing it spots that person goes, this may be trouble, you're done. We'll talk about that, among other things, straight ahead. Chad Benson, Super Talk 99.7.
$2:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. Vice President J.D. Vance joined today's White House press briefing and was asked about the deadly ICE-involved shooting in Minneapolis and whether there were any discrepancies between what the video shows and what the administration is saying.
Presumably you watched the video yourself. There's not the slightest doubt in your mind, having viewed it, that the victim you still believe that she deliberately tried to ram him despite seeing this video?
Look, I don't know what is in a person's heart or in a person's head, and obviously we're not going to get the chance to ask this woman what was going on. What I am certain of is that she violated the law. What I'm certain of is that that officer had every reason to think that he was under very serious threat for injury or in fact, his life.
Meanwhile, the FBI is not sharing information with Minnesota investigators, and they are not required to by law. U.S. Senate today approved a war powers resolution, 52-47, requiring congressional approval for future hostilities. Meanwhile, President Trump lashing out at the 5 Republican senators who voted with Democrats. Trump posting to Truth Social, Susan Collins, Lisa Murkowski, Rand Paul, Josh Hawley, and Todd Young should never be elected to office again. Key vote in the U.S. House today could keep health insurance affordable for millions. Lawmakers poised to approve a 3-year extension of ACA. That's Obamacare premium tax credits that expired last month. And one effect of President Trump's tariffs, fewer imports coming into the U.S. ABC's Jim Ryan says that's reflected in the latest report on the nation's trade deficit.
The difference between what the U.S. imports and what it exports was nearly cut in half from September to October, from a $48 billion trade deficit down to $29 billion, the lowest since 2009. The Trump administration has pointed to the shrinking trade deficit in recent months as evidence that its economic policies are working.
That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
The Wellness Institute of Nashville. They got a website called painisbad.com or call 615-246-5009. Your back needs to get back, and this is the year to do it. You want to start 2026? Start living that pain-free life. It is absolutely possible. Now, check this out. New device they've got, this HydroWave. It's incredible. But on top of that, it's 2026, and right now, 47% off non-surgical decompression for the new year. Ready for you. 47% off. And this is something, this new device, the HydroWave, ain't nowhere else. You're not seeing it anywhere else. I'm letting you guys know that. It's just like a space alien thing that is amazing, that it's going to help get your back back. So start the new year by doing the right thing for you. Do something for you. Get that back feeling better than ever before. Get those legs feeling better. Check out the new HydroWave over at the Wellness Institute at Nashville. They're my doctors. They should be yours. Dr. Mitchell, Dr. Ashley are incredible. Call them today and get on in there. 615-246-5009, 615-246-5009, or painisbad.com. All right, guys, Relief Factor is awesome. I take it all the time, feel amazing. So does my wife. My wife has perimenopause, and there's days I go home, we've talked about this, and she wakes up, her muscles are sore, she struggles, and she started taking Relief Factor. And over the last several months, it has changed everything. She feels better than she's felt in a long time. And it's incredible. And for me, when I work out as much as I'm doing, and I always joke about how much I work out. I'm working out a lot more than I used to. And I will tell you, I don't feel it the way I used to. My muscles feel so much better. And that's what Relief Factor does for you. I want you to try a 3-week quick start. It's $19.95. You can take it every single day. It's less than a cup of coffee, and you're going to feel the difference. If you struggle with aches and pains, especially when it comes to inflammation in your muscles, you will feel the difference. Call 1-800-4RELIEF, 800-4RELIEF, or go to relieffactor.com, relieffactor.com. A lot of people telling us about their great experience when it comes to going in and interviewing for a job, which is just so weird, isn't it? Sometimes. And you're just interviewing with somebody and you're thinking, oh, my Lord. And if you have to interview people, it's a thing, man.
When I was doing record promotion, I actually got a call from another label that asked me to interview for their opening they had. So I go in, and one of the first things the guy says to me is like, so why do you want this job? I said, I don't. You called me. They offered me the job, and I turned it down.
Oh, Lord. So I've had some weird interviews, you know. I mean, I've had some, because I've had quite the life doing a bunch of stuff. How about you, Ken? You interviewed a lot or have interviewed people a lot?
Fortunately, I have interviewed way more people than I have been interviewed. I've been able to stay at my jobs pretty long.
That's good.
And the people who showed up late to the interview or just didn't, they never got another chance.
Oh, goodness me. I've been in some interviews where I've interviewed people. So you guys want a great fun? You want a wacky story? Let's do a wacky story time. I have... to this day. So my buddy had a big financial company, but you know, this is back in the day when you used to have to, you could call, right? It's just cold calls. So I was like, dude, come run it for me. He goes, you're doing your voiceovers and comedies. You got time during the day? He said, yeah, because I need you to build me a room. And I said, okay. So I go over there. And these are just like the people that are just they're getting past the, you know, all the wives and the, you know, the gatekeepers and stuff and trying to set appointments and stuff. So I did it. So I had one guy. First of all, there was like 3 guys that came from their AA meeting, which is fine. But let's just say they were hilarious, and each one of them, there was always drama. There was never not drama. Then I had Robin, who I ended up setting up several rooms, and Robin was trans, and Robin was hilarious, and Robin got the surgery in the Philippines. Yeah, that was an interesting thing. She's like, hey, Chad. People will call him and go, hey, who's the guy that just left a message? I go, oh, that was Robin. She's over there. He goes, she? Because I didn't, you know, at first I thought, it looks like a dude. But I hired this girl, this blonde. She was kind of stunning, but she was like 21. She was rough around the edges. And she kind of came dressed up. But, you know, I knew she had some ink. She sat in one area, right? One little booth. And the lady that sat next to her, this big old black lady, when she took off her jacket, swastikas everywhere,
Whoa.
SS bolts, all of that stuff. Her stepdad and mom were part of the Aryan Brotherhood prison gang. She's like, oh, I left that all behind. I don't even deal with that. Her and the black lady became like best friends. And I would just sit there and go, oh, my God. But this one guy came in, and in the middle of the interview, so I'm interviewing him, right? Yeah. And look, you hire 100. If one sticks, that's great. His tooth fell out in the middle of the interview.
Oh.
And he like, it fell, and he reached down, and he picked it up, and he just kept talking, and he put it in there. And I'm like, oh.
In?
What?
He put it back in?
And I'm like, this is fantastic.
Awesome.
And that's what a call center was like back in the day.
Yeah.
But I'm like you, man. How many people don't show up for jobs?
Yeah, there's
For jobs or for interviews?
Both. How many people get jobs? Because there's and they'll go out on lunch and they'll never come back. They'll never come back. They are,
I remember I answered an ad in the paper in Tulsa one time. I was between jobs. And, it sounded, kind of interesting to me. And so they just had a bunch of people come in and then they were going to present to you. Well, out from behind the curtain comes a guy I worked with whenever I was a call center manager there at a carpet cleaning outfit. And I just immediately just laughed and I said, adios, boys.
Because they tell you something too. And oh God,
by the way, he was holding a brand new vacuum. He wanted everybody to go around selling his vacuums.
That's so awesome. That is so. Could you imagine that? Today, like now the vacuums are AI.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I've got a Roomba.
Do you?
Yeah.
Now, how does it? First of all, what's Fritz think of it?
Fritz is indifferent to it. It doesn't really mess with Fritz. If it comes around him, Fritz just hops up on the couch.
I like it when I see videos and the cats are driving around on him. Quick, onward we go. Selling vacuums. What kind of vacuums? I hope it was a good one.
I don't know, man. It was. I mean, it looked fancy. I guess this was like. I want to say this was like 92 or 1993, maybe 94. It's right before I got married. Jennifer and I were living together, and I was kind of in between jobs at the time. And I saw him step out, and I just went, "Oh man, no way." I mean, that call room that I worked in. We had a pitch sheet. You have to read what the company tells you to say. And I remember at the end of the pitch, you're supposed to ask the person you're on the phone with, "Isn't that super?"
And stick to the script.
Oh, you got to sit. Yeah, you had to stick to the script. Isn't that super?
Woo! That's just great.
Well, what was interesting too is, once you would, so let's say you book to clean somebody's carpet. Well, it's the job of the technician then when he or she gets out there, well, then they start upselling you on things.
Oh yeah.
So initially, you quote somebody at the time, you could quote somebody, 3 rooms and maybe a hallway for like, $45 or something like that. But a lot of times those guys were getting out of there with over $100 or something, just tell them that, well, you got to have this pre-treatment.
Oh, it's the pre-treatment. It's the pre-treatment.
Were you getting a cut or was it just hourly?
No, I was just hourly.
It's the pre-treatment. It is, man. It's always about the pre-treatment.
But the techs got a cut of whatever, they sold extra.
Did you get like a bonus for how many appointments you set?
Yeah.
Yeah. And they do like a pizza party.
No, dude, what? Oh my gosh, this is so funny, man. This was such an interesting time in my life. It's where I met my wife. I actually met her in this call center. And anyway, whoever booked the most deals or whoever's calls led to the most deals that night, they might get $5.
Oh. That is so.
How are you not insulted by that?
And see, because we were in the financial, so we had all kinds of money. So like money was never an issue. But if you landed something because you weren't licensed, if that person was traced back to you, you'd get a little something for it. But it was so the people. I'm just like, oh my Lord. It's just insane. It was. I always say, you know what? It was an It was an AA meeting with phones. And the excuses
So there were free
these
coffee
people
and
have.
cookies?
Huh?
There was free coffee and cookies?
Oh, yes.
Oh, it's
Yes.
all the coffee you can drink.
All the coffee you can start. White styrofoam cups.
And get this, boys, we could smoke.
Oh,
we
yeah.
could smoke right there in the phone room.
You can't have a call room without smoke. We would, and this is the stuff that these kids, they don't understand how they don't get to go through some of this neat stuff that we went through, as crazy as it was.
Right.
Because it helps build what we have.
Yeah.
And it's so amazing. But man, I tell you what, their drama too, because that was the other thing. Because by the time I had the room set, I had like 20 people from the same halfway house. And it was just nothing but drama.
Fighting, arguing. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I go, hey, where's so-and-so? He crashed his car. I'm like, what? Yeah, he crashed his car. He fell off the wagon. I said he crashed his Esprit, but he was the only one with a car.
Dude, I'll never forget. I took a call from a deputy, an investigator, homicide detective from the county where I went to high school there in Oklahoma. And, he tells me his name, and I'd worked in radio down there, so I knew him, from doing news. And I said, hey, man, it's Ken Weaver. And he goes, oh, hey, Ken. He said, you got such and such working for you there? And I said, yeah, I do. And he said, well, he's a suspect in a homicide here. I was like, okay.
Goodness me. It was just so...
Needless to say, that guy, whenever he wanted a cigarette break that night, I said, okay.
Yeah, okay. You got it. That's good.
You got it.
That's good.
Then we fired him over the phone.
Oh, you got to do it over the phone. Because you're like,
I don't want that guy coming back.
man, we had this guy, Randy, that worked for us. And I loved Randy. But they used to make fun of him all the time. They used to just badger him. And I used to tell Randy, dude, when you come back in, you shoot this place up. Remember, dude, I was the only one that was on your side. Wound me and I'll tell your story.
I worked with one guy. Oh, my gosh. Man, I should write a book about my phone center days. This guy was a great guy. I loved him to death. But he had a story for everything, and they were all fantastic lies. He claimed that he was chased by a Bengal tiger in Vietnam.
I think I work with that guy. Because the guy who crashed his Esprit or whatever car he had a job too. He was in the Navy. He was on the Indianapolis.
Yeah. Oh, man, these experiences.
A Bengal tiger.
Yeah. Yeah, chased by a Bengal tiger in Vietnam, and he just said, now, what I had to do, I just had to hold my gun behind me with that trigger.
That's so awesome.
And we knew it was BS, but, man, we just laughed.
Because it was so much fun.
Yes.
It was. As horrible as it was, you're like, I'm going to remember you wackadoos for all the wrong reasons for the rest of my life. All right, we got Matt coming up straight ahead. We'll wrap it up with Matt. It's the welcome Matt's going to be rolled out. Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 99.7.
Hey, this is Pastor Al, and join us on Super Talk 99.7, Sunday evenings from 7 to 8. We're going to look at the news from a biblical perspective.
Matt's in the house. Matt, we were talking about jobs, all the great jobs, the horrible jobs we used to have that ended up being hilarious in real life. We're talking about our call center experience, Ken and I.
Oh, man, I did that once. I worked at a temporary agency, and they assigned me to it was a call center where people would call back to find out the status of their credit card application.
Yeah.
But these were pre-approved applications, and so we were legally obligated to give them $500.
Yeah.
But these people,
$400 or whatever.
well, but these people were under the impression they were gonna, they were being offered up to $20,000 in credit, and they were pre-approved. And so I just talked to angry people every day. They were so mad
when they were finding they're getting $500.
Right. And I'm and we were trained that yes, sir. I'll tell you what. I want to talk to your supervisor. Okay, that's very good. I'll put you on hold and I'll get you with my supervisor. And then I would put that person on hold, and then I'd say hey, Chad, are you doing anything right now? Okay, you're my supervisor for this lady. Yeah. And then we would Chad would do the same thing to me. I would do this. So we were just passing it back and forth. Hi, I'm Chad. I'm the supervisor. Can I help you? Oh, no. Well, I'm sorry. And you would go through you'd have a little, page of what to say.
It
was awful.
It was so.
It was awful. It was so awful.
Can't work with a guy who used to tell the biggest lies in history.
Oh, yeah.
Like he got chased by a Bengal tiger
in Vietnam.
What?
Number one, he wasn't old enough to be a Vietnam veteran, but he claimed that he was in the Vietnam War. I think he said, boys, I think it was something around 66 or 67 that things were heating up. I heard this crashing coming out of the jungle. Look behind me, it's a Bengal tiger running right at me. So he said he took off running with his rifle pointed behind him, just with the trigger pulled.
Oh, well, I mean, that'll...
Some of these people...
do it.
And they all had other jobs, too. That was the other thing. We had this one lady. I was like, Debbie, what are you doing? She goes, Chad, I'm building up I'm a life coach. I'm like... As you take the bus here...
when I was managing Waffle House, so I'm managing a Waffle House, and this guy comes to me and tells me he's got to I can't work this weekend. My grandmother died. And so I was like, okay, well, that's fine. And, I'm talking to my district manager, and she's like, this is his fifth grandmother.
It's like Epstein.
How many grandmothers? And so I called him and asked him. And she told me not to. I did. I said, how many grandmas you got, bro? It's like you're on number 5. So what are you trying to say? I was like, what do you think I'm trying to say? But to work. Good gracious.
Oh, that is so good.
Oh, no. I sold suits at a Filene's department store in Bristol, Connecticut. That was oh, my God.
What are you doing in Bristol?
I moved to Connecticut for, I lived in Connecticut for 9 months.
ESPN?
I did not. I worked. I got
the only one who didn't.
I got to drive by ESPN and see what the happy people were doing every day while I went to work at Filene's department store just outside of Hartford. No, I lived in Middletown. We moved up there. My first wife and I moved up there because our marriage was not working out, and so we had the brilliant decision: let's move.
Let's put ourselves in an awkward position.
Let's move to where the only person I know on planet Earth is you, and I don't like you. So that didn't work out at all. But working at a department store is pretty bad too. I mean, we would have people stealing from us in an department store. And then they would bring the clothing back with big ink stains on it because there's ink tabs on it. Yeah. And I was like, I can't take this back. And then they would want to talk to a manager. They talk to a manager. The manager would make me take it back. I'm like, what are we doing? He goes, oh, it's easier to write it off.
Oh, God.
Oh, that sounds great. That's great.
I like your marriage advice. Move somewhere where the only person you don't like is the only person you
There's
know.
a way that I say that in private life that I can't say on the radio. It's like, yeah, how brilliant of me. Let's move somewhere where the only human being on planet Earth I know is the bleep I don't like.
There you go. I understand. So what are you talking about today?
I don't know. Is there anything in the world to talk about today?
We pretty much avoided it for a vast majority of the show because we knew you talked about it, Chris talked about it. We wanted to make people laugh and give them a little levity before you
That's
start
all
to get somewhat
good.
serious.
Well, I mean, we've got some session talk away from Minnesota and away from Venezuela. We've got some local talk. We got this Columbia Water thing going down. I got Jack Johnson coming on at 5 o'clock. We got a big show.
So. Okay. Matt's back. You guys have a good one. Do it tomorrow.